Hi everyone. Okay, so this is just a really quick video, to be honest. I've had a bit of an influx of messages about anxiety in our children since my latest review went out. This is the first time that I have worked with a family specifically to help their child's mental health needs issues. Now, I am not a mental health professional. Okay, please don't confuse me with someone who is. I am a teacher. However, as a teacher and also as a parent and also as a person, I've dealt with a lot of mental health issues over the years. Okay, I have obviously advised parents who I've worked closely with their children who I've taught in schools. I've had mental health issues, which I've taught to a lot of you who already know either me personally or have followed me for quite some time will know that I have touched on my own mental health issues in the past. Anxiety particularly, very long time ago, some depression. But that's for another day, because this isn't about me, it's about helping your children. As a parent, as I say, as a family, we've dealt with both our children suffering with anxiety for very different reasons. There are so many strategies, so many different things you can use. And as I say, I'm not a trained professional in this. I'm just experienced in what I do and have dealt with in each of those areas, okay? Some people might, I kind of always feel I have to justify myself. So some people kind of might feel, well, who am I to kind of advise and help with that? And then other people might say, well, do you know what, you're a teacher, you're from a very highly regarded profession, and also, as I say, from my experience as a parent with what we've dealt with, I can share with you, and that's what I want to do. So going forward, because it's such a big area to cover, I will be putting on some webinars. Okay, now you can sign up for these webinars, but they will be at a cost. However, what that enables people to do is access any support from me, obviously not on a one-to-one basis. The one-to-one would obviously be at a higher cost, because this is my job, this is what I do, I teach, I support, I help families. The webinars will be a much lower cost. There will be no more than £5 a session, okay? Because it's such a big area, my plan is to put on more than one. So if we could perhaps run it as kind of some sort of workshop, you'll be able to attend live if you want to, but you'll also be able to watch on replay, okay? So if you sign up and pay to have access to them, they'll be hosted on Zoom. You would be emailed the Zoom link to attend live or afterwards to have it on replay and watch it after and work with your child, okay? Hopefully it'll be suitable for children to join in as well at the same time. So that's my intention to do. Let's talk then briefly about what's what. I thought what I'll do in this short video is kind of give you some top tips. Talking, that might sound really daft to say, but talking is so important. Encouraging our children to talk. Maybe you have got a child who openly talks and they're always talking about their worries. The key thing for it is strategies. It's always strategies, coping mechanisms. What can we do to help, okay? I was just going to say, if you've got a problem, I'll solve it. Check out the hook one. My DJ revolves it. Ace. Anyway, we jest. I was having this conversation earlier this morning with a friend. I am a problem solver. Lots of us are problem solvers. If there is a problem, I do like to help sort it out. And if I can't sort it out, I want to know how I can, okay? So talking. If you've got a child who is good at talking, then I'd say that's brilliant. You've kind of got a first step there. But it's talking specifically about their issues, isn't it? It's asking the right questions. It's talking in the right way. One thing I've noted down to say to you is open-ended questions. Don't ask your children yes and no questions if you want them to explain or to help them understand their feelings more. Asking open questions like how, okay, how type questions. How are you feeling? If they say they don't know, then here are our trusty emojis. So this is what we always go to, okay? These have worked with a lot of people that I have worked with and supported. We've also used these as a family, and if you've seen them before, I apologise in advance. These will be emailed to you if you attend the webinars. So if you want the set of emoji cards, they're there. We chose these certain emojis to help reflect the general kind of feelings that we experience, okay, and emotions. And then there is a video sitting on my YouTube channel that explains how we use them. So that's a good starting point, okay, if you've got a child especially who's not good at talking and recognising emotions. Another idea, which I shared a picture of something that I did with a lovely Ruby who I worked with earlier this week. I wrote down on colourful paper, just makes it nicer, doesn't it? It's more fun, it's more interactive. Lots and lots of different feelings, words. That's something you could do with your child. You could sit with them and get, trusted sticky notes, get a pad of sticky notes. You could write lots of different feelings, words on those sticky notes, positive feelings as well as negative, okay? So the key one is obviously anxiety, anxious, nervous, worried, scared, frightened, terrified. Fearful was one that I discussed with Ruby the other day, actually. That's an interesting one, isn't it? Fearful, not knowing what's to come, fear of the unknown, isn't it? But also your positive feelings, happy, joyful, like humorous, fun, all sorts of positive feelings. Get your child to do it with you, encourage them to write them down. If you're not sure, ask them to explain to you, what does that mean? How do you know you feel happy? How do you know that you feel nervous? Do you get those open questions? Yeah. How do you know? Not aiming it specifically. So let's flip it if you're not understanding, saying, how do you know you're nervous? Instead of saying, have you got a tummy ache? Is your head aching? Are you worried about going to school? Those are the yes and no questions, closed. Okay, we understand, hopefully. Quickly going to whiz through. So we've got talking, we've got asking open-ended questions, looking out for physical signs and symptoms. Okay, if your child's manifesting anxiety and nervousness and worry in a way that they feel sick a lot, they're getting headaches, they've got tummy aches, they're key signs to recognising that your child's suffering with some anxiety. So once you recognise that those are the way, that is the way it's manifesting itself physically, that's when we can go, right, this is what we're dealing with. Now we need to know what's causing that problem. Okay, so digging deeper, then comes the talking. Encourage them to write down their thoughts and their worries and any questions they have. Our eldest daughter, who suffered with anxiety, she found this too babyish, so we didn't do this. We just talked. She also had we went to the shop, we bought a brand new notebook that she chose herself. Really, it was like a colourful sort of pastel-y rainbow shiny notebook. New pen. She used that as like a bit of a diary come journal, so she would write in. Didn't last for long, but it was all she needed at that time. In there, I would say things like write down 2 positives for the day and then 1 thought of something that you could either change or something that could go better, or a worry that you've got from that day. Encourage your child to do it with them, do it together. If you've got an older child who doesn't want to share that with you, allow them that personal space to go and do that on their own. If you've got real concerns about your child, and I'm kind of probably pitching this now towards parents of older children, tweens and teens, when they're becoming aware, and it's horrible to think about but mention, and I have had people message me to say about children who have self-harmed or have talked about it and have even talked about killing themselves. Now again, I am no counsellor, but if you've got a child that you've got those concerns about, I would say you definitely, in fact I wouldn't say you definitely need to be seeking some professional help. There's a lot of stuff out there, and I will share with you some links. I share a lot of the Young Mind stuff, okay? They're very helpful for parents and children alike. The NSPCC are also fantastic. They have a live chat function that, well, they will signpost you to things if you are unsure. The other thing to kind of consider, actually kind of going off on a little tangent that's just popped in my head, and this is how I work, is the CEOP, okay? The Criminal Exploitation Online Police, I think it stands for. CEOP, C-E-O-P. If you Google that and search it, you'll get to their website. They've got a lot of information if you've got worries about things that are going on online with your children, okay? And that's something else to kind of monitor, isn't it? Because of anxieties, it might lead them to go off and kind of put themselves in this, like the online world. But again, I think that's probably for slightly older children, not our younger children. Okay, let's quickly finish off whizzing through. Encourage your family time, okay? I'm a big advocate for family time, especially meals. As a family, we've always sat at our dining table here behind me, Difficult now that I work in the evenings and after school times, but our girls are older, so we still make sure we have some of that time. Weekends is our family time to sit and have meals together. But if you are if you're a family who's always on the go and it's difficult to get that time, even if it's just once a week, if it's a Saturday or a Sunday, perhaps try and schedule in some family time to sit and eat together. That's a really good opportunity to talk. Don't ever be worried about sharing your thoughts and feelings and worries with your children too, because then it normalises it for them. And that's another thing I'm a key advocate for, is normalising things, okay? Allow our children to feel that it's okay, it's normal to feel this way, however you are feeling. So many people are feeling that way. We're just not all very good at sharing those feelings, are we? And this is why this is so important right now, especially with everything that we've all been through the last 2 years. Family time, friendship time, setting plans and routines as well, okay? So a child that's anxious will more than likely find some kind of routine or structure in their day or their week helpful, okay? Because if you've got anxieties, you're worried about something, you're always overthinking, you're preempting what's to come, okay? One thing I did with Ruby, if you've seen on the post that I shared this week, she openly told me that she likes to be organised and she likes to keep things tidy, she likes to plan things. So we set a plan. I would always do that anyway with a child, because I do think it's really good for them to know. If it's not something that works with a particular child, again, for us, it works with one of our daughters, not the other. We don't always do lists, but we do sometimes. And it helps because they love that then, physically crossing something off. They feel the satisfaction that they've not got to worry about that anymore because it's done. Okay, even if that's not just a plan of things for the day, but a list of worries and concerns. Okay, if you've got a list of worries and concerns with an older child now, maybe, because not always the emojis are suitable for older children, teens and tweens, ask them to write the list of worries to share with you. And then when you talk about how you can deal with those worries, so let's say, for example, it's something going on at school and we've got some friendship issues. If you didn't know that until they've spoken to you, you contact school, you have a meeting with school, let's say, or you exchange some email contact, or you have a phone call. Maybe you go face to face. Maybe your child takes part in some kind of nurture group, or they're encouraged to go and join an after school club or a lunchtime club, or they're just given some quiet time to go and speak to a teacher that they trust at school. Once you've dealt with that, tick it off. Okay, again, give your child the satisfaction of feeling that they've achieved something. Reward. Okay, I see lots of posts on social media in various groups that I'm a member of for various reasons, for my tutoring as a parent, for home ed, and a lot of parents don't believe in, all celebrating and rewarding kids for behaviour and stuff. But I think it's really key if you've got a child who does get satisfaction from that. So if they've achieved something that is in their worry list, go, right, do you know what, you've been so brave this week, we're going to go and have an hour out at the weekend, we're going to go to a coffee shop, we're going to go to the cinema, we're going to go shopping, we're going to just go window shopping, anything. Okay, encourage that time, make that time for your child. We get so caught up in our lives, don't we, that life is busy, days pass us by, and before we know it, another week has gone as well, and we think, oh, and we're guilty in our house, we know we are, haven't spent any time with, this daughter or that daughter. We always spend a lot of time together. That's something I'm always very conscious of. So it's kind of splitting yourself between as well, isn't it, if you've got more than one child, all of your family. Play games, watch films and read, I've got is a good one. Having some calm space, having a go-to, a safe place. Bedrooms are always good, aren't they? The children can take themselves off. You might have some children who are quite sensory and like curtains closed, lights off. They might like all these LED lights. Our girls have got those at the minute. Talk to your child about what makes them feel safe as well, and try to encourage that safe place. All these things I've talked about today, I will explore in webinars, and you can come along and we can talk about them in more detail. Okay, so please do sign up if it's something you're really seriously interested in. We can talk a lot more. What else was I going to say? So another thing that I have spoken to a couple of people about recently is children who have suffered bereavement, okay, and grief. Now again, this is not anything that I am qualified in, trained in, but I have experienced children in my years that have suffered grief and bereavement. That can cause anxiety. Now, that's a massive one, and that is something else to explore completely differently in itself, okay? Again, there's a lot of help out there, but it's not readily available, which is what I've heard recently, which is such a shame. So that is something else that I am happy to explore with you. So if that's something that you are interested in, please do let me know. Oh my days, I've covered such a lot there. So I think key from this is top tips, although I've kind of explored them and talked about them in some detail. Your top tips are: look for physical signs of worries and anxieties. Talk to your child or children about those worries and anxieties. Come up with coping mechanisms and strategies to help them deal with them. Talk to them about your feelings and anxieties and try to normalise that and say, do you know what, it's okay. I get worries as well. I get upset. I have no qualms. Now, this is me saying, this is not me encouraging you. This is me saying, I have no qualms in being upset in front of my children. There are times where I don't feel it's appropriate, and if I'm upset for some reason, haven't been for a long time actually, because I'm in a happy place. If I have been upset, whether it's been because of certain behaviours that have happened at home, or something's bothered me with work in the past, or personal circumstances that have affected me and I've had a bad day, there are times where I've perhaps felt I don't need my children to see me upset because they don't need to hear what's causing that upset. It's too much of a grown-up concern. But then there are also times where I have got upset in front of them, and I, as I say, have no qualms. And when I've sort of calmed down and I've become rational again myself, because we do, don't we? I've explained to them why I've been upset, and you know, say that that's okay, it's fine. We've even sat and cried together at times, some of us. So that's another thing. So there you go. So talking, looking for physical signs, your open-ended questions. And if you're not sure about that, have a little Google of it. I'll explain more in the webinar and I'll give you examples. But have a Google. Write yourself a little list of open-ended questions that you could ask your child. The other thing, worries, worry jars, worry books, worry monsters. There's all kinds of things that we can look at and explore. I'm not going to spend all afternoon talking to you about it now. But please do look out for the posts coming up to advertise the webinars. They will be taking place soon because I know lots of you are desperate for that help. I'll put details on all of my groups, but also if you watch this in my tutoring group or my Shine and Learn with Mrs. B group, or even on my YouTube channel, please do find me at Shine and Learn. How terrible am I? Shine and Learn Parent Carer Support. Let me just double check that. We've not got many members in that group at the minute, and I'm really keen to grow that, especially because I know, just checking on my laptop behind the phone, I know it's obviously something that is of sort of a great concern for lots of you. So Shine and Learn Parent/Carer Support, okay? Please do join on there if you are looking for more help, because that's predominantly where the details of the webinars will be. Whew. That was a whirlwind. I do hope that's been helpful. Please don't hesitate to contact me. As I say, Facebook, if you're not seeing this on my Facebook page and you're watching it on the YouTube channel, please don't hesitate to get in touch, and look out for the webinars. Okay, good luck and thanks everyone. Take care of yourselves.